constantly saying that you're looking to see, well, within the confines of the law, ways to reverse this. What options are available to you all to reverse this?
Well, I think, like we mentioned, all available action to us within the ambits of the law. The use of the law and the courts is one option. We have mobilized the communities in the South and in St. Lucia generally. We've sought to educate persons on the implications of the deal. We've had protest action to try to signal to the government that this is unpopular with the citizens of St. Lucia. We continue to ask questions, and I think the time will come where we will have to say very clearly to the Prime Minister and the government that, look, we've tried all reasonable means to explain to you, to engage people, to educate them, and that you're not even responding. And our next step will probably have to go to court to see if we can stop you until you engage people and provide all the information necessary. This is still an option available to us. But of course, like we've always said before, we want the Prime Minister, we are appealing, we are exposing what we see as the deficiencies in the agreements and what has been announced, and to come out and clarify and engage the people of St. Lucia and the people of the South in particular. And when the time comes where we will take, if necessary, legal action to stop any works, we hope people will not say we were hasty, we were indecent in our approach, because we are trying over and over and over to ask the government to come out and be transparent on this matter. And we constantly raise questions and ask for clarification. No one can say that we have not been exceedingly constructive in our approach. And the time will come soon that if the Prime Minister continues to be arrogant and disdainful, that we will have to take it to another level.
How concerned is your opposition that this DSH project, well, not the entire project, but this horse racing track in particular, how concerned are you that it will end up like another parody?
Well, that's always a perpetual concern. And like I said in the statement, more and more you believe in that St. Lucia is just being used and CIP to speculate. When you say to me that you're building the racetrack and you're going to put temporary facilities for now, so at least you can start some races, so you can bring down investors to see what you're doing, and hopefully they will invest in it. Now, think about that. You're just speculating. So, if when the investors come down, they're not happy, they're not satisfied, what happens to the project? It's going to be abandoned. But we have a commitment to repay him for the monies that he spent. But remember, those monies, he used land as collateral, our land as collateral. So we lease you the land, you use it as collateral, and the only reason why you're using land as collateral is to get a loan. No? So we lease the land to you, and the Prime Minister said it, not us. The Prime Minister said there was a need to lease the land to Mr. Akin so he can use it as collateral. So he's using it as collateral to get monies to put in the racetrack and the temporary facilities and to bring down investors. Now, if he organizes races, there'll be betting, there'll be waging, there'll be broadcast rights. Who's getting that money? Not us. But why isn't that money being used to repay the loan? Why do we have to repay him the loan if our CIP money is? So you're trying to establish something to speculate, to bring down investors. But if it fails, we still have to pay you back the money that used our land as a collateral to get the loan. Think about it. And then you said to us, by the way, the racetrack doesn't make money. It's the cheese that will bring all the other things that will make money. But all the other things have been built with our CIP money too, but we're not getting it back. We only getting back the component of it that's not making money. And by the way, when we finish paying him with it, we have to sign a contract with him to manage it and operate it, which is to do the same betting, the same waging, the same broadcast rights that we're getting no money out of.
Dr. Hilaire, is the opposition not run out of breath as yet? In the sense of you, like you rightly said, the opposition has continued to agitate, and you will continue. But I think if I may speak for my colleagues, every time we have this discussion with you about DSH, the same points are raised, and apparently the Prime Minister of the government has not acceded to your request. So do you think at this time it may be more appropriate to provide a deadline to which a definitive deadline before you react? Because, for lack of a better term, it seems to be getting kind of old, inherit the same thing. The Prime Minister's not listening, we bring up the same points. don't you think there may be time to actually see some action, or to in a sense, force the Prime Minister's hand to be transparent to the public, like you say, quote-unquote?
Added to that, the weekly press conferences, the marches, the demonstrations, you mentioned the taking it to the courts, but how effective are these strategies? Has it been?
Well, I mean, we live in a democracy, and the first rule of democracy is that, you know, certainly as an opposition, and most from opposition civic organizations, is to put pressure on the government, to hold them accountable, is check and balances, and to convince people. And our primary role is to sensitize solutions, to educate solutions as to what is being done, and to explain to them that even if they build a racetrack there, and even if it is glittery and they have fireworks and a big race, to remind solutions, despite that, what is the implication for St. Lucia? And what are the consequences for St. Lucia? We need to educate solutions. We're not against investment, we're not against development, but we want it done in a responsible way. We want it in the best interest of St. Lucia. And our primary role is to educate solutions, to explain to them what's going on, to put pressure on the government to hold them accountable, and to mobilize solutions. The government can decide, you know what, we're going to be arrogant. We empower people who voted for us. You're in opposition, we're not listening to you all. And you're the people, by the way, once we give you all a few jobs, all of you all will keep quiet. And that might be the approach to governance. It is our role to mobilize people and mobilize people and mobilize them and educate them as to what is really going on. And of course, we have, outside of that, we also have legal avenues open to us in terms of judicial review and other such approaches to stop the government from abusing processes and from acting in a way which is not in the best interest of solutions. Of course, you have to be tactical and decide when is the best time to do it, because you also one day going to be in government. And you know that you don't want the government to govern. You just want them to be accountable, transparent, and to act in the best interest of solutions. And we have to decide, as an opposition, and the leadership will certainly decide, at what point we believe we have given the government sufficient time, at what point have we exposed all the issues, at what point have we really educated solutions on the consequences, and truly there is no response from the government, and in the best interest of St. Lucia, we have to go to the next level. And I think that is the thinking that has to guide how we approach the politics, and I think the leadership is very cognizant of what you're saying, because there are people that tell us, you're too patient, y'all should just move bulldozer style and stop it and take down the government. I mean, the reality is not exactly like that.
Well, with the continued flashy pictures and everything, like you mentioned earlier, essentially the Prime Minister and government dodging the issues, haven't been returning your calls, haven't been answering letters. Don't you think that this is sufficient time given for decisive action to take place on the part of the SLB?
I mean, like I ended my saying, this thing has tested the patience and the will of solutions. And it's reaching the point where we will have to take it to another level. And I hope when we take it to another level, the headlines on the news will not be Labour Party is obstructionist and Labour Party is seeking to halt development. I hope we don't hear that, because everybody here is showing some level of understanding of the fact that we are going through the process and we're trying to do it in a particular way, because you know the St. Lucia that we live in. It will be very quick for people to say, you see, Labour Party again, they're trying to stop development, trying to stop people from getting jobs. Because we have to be very cognizant of that point, you know, and solutions need to reflect on it. Let me give an example. The Vanna-Mondo Road. It was widely circulated that a decision had been made by a ministry through its processes to award that road to a certain contractor for a certain sum. We later learned that it had been reversed, and through direct award, the same road was given for $2 million more. Now, there are people that are telling you, oh, look at the road, it's a nice built road, watch how the road looking. So, in other words, forget the fact of what happened with that road and just be happy with the fact that you get a new road. That cannot be right. You cannot tell me there can be widespread corruption and bubble taking place and just don't say anything because the road is fixed for you, the bridge is fixed for you. Forget where the millions of dollars is being squandered and millions of dollars wrongfully acquired in the process. Just be happy. So likewise, you know what? You can say what you all want. Once we create a few jobs, just be happy with that. Even if it means you just taking care of the horses. Forget what St. Lucia has to give up. Forget how we compromise in the future of our country. Forget that, because a few jobs have been created. And there seems to be the belief that if you show St. Lucians glitzy photos and drawings, the big high-rise buildings looking out South Beach and Dubai. All of a sudden, St. Lucians will say, you know what, give away our whole country. Once we get that, we're happy. That cannot be right. I mean, we want development in our country, but we need to protect St. Lucia for future generations as well. And we have to make sure that we have development in a very sustainable and sensible manner. And I think the Labour Party has always said that we're not going to sacrifice and desecrate St. Lucia just because we want to please a few foreign investors who will ask for all and sundry to come to the country. I mean, when you hear statements like that beaches in St. Lucia are not public unless they have public facilities on them, I mean, when you hear that kind of thinking, it really makes you wonder what the appreciation that exists for things St. Lucia and the things that we possess as a people and as a country.